Zimmerman with a big swing from the outside. It comes back across, and it's put away by Kiana Schmidt.
Just a smart read for her, knowing that anytime you're able to get that overpass to go deep with it, especially with everybody diving in close to the net, hitting that back corner was a smart shot by her.
And here's Ellie Bolton, who's been really good from the libero spot as a freshman. Big swing off the near side, but a good dig by Davis. Here's Zimmerman. Shot down the line, it's in. That's a point to Creighton.
It looked like there was one line judge was calling it in, the other was out. It was so close. It just, you know, you give Jayla anything. You give her a little bit of line, you give her a little bit of cross, she'll see that. She has such good vision and range offensively, and they gave her just a little bit too much line, and she was able to sneak it in there.
Well, the far side official did overrule, so that's Xavier's point. They lead at 4-2. And then off the heavy swing out of the middle, Creighton able to generate a point.
Yeah, you know, the ball handling, you know, the unforced errors, those are things that with this match going back and forth with so much on the line, you don't want to have any ball handling errors, you don't want to have any unforced errors. So making sure that both sides are assertive with what the game plan that they're trying to attack is going to be key.
Serve for Van Ekeren. Overpass on the serve, and it's put back and put down.
You know, they say as a server, you know, a coach, they're wanting you to hit that ball clean, which means flat and clean. And that ball had no spin on it. That was a really tough serve to defend.
Van Ekeren, little cross-court serve this time. Comes near side for O'Toole. Good dig by Davis. Zimmerman from the far side along the back line, and it's good for a point. Creighton takes the lead 5-4.
Zimmerman doing what Zimmerman does. I just love how many different spots of the court she attacks offensively, whether it's roll shot, off speed, tools, deep seams. She does a really good job of finding the court.
Sent to the middle. There's the Blue Jay block. From the near side, that's all over the net. It's out. Point to Creighton. And the Blue Jays, top 50 in the country at 2.46 blocks per set. You saw it right there.
Yeah, the blocking by the Blue Jays has been phenomenal this season. You know, Hickman has done a really good job of anchoring that for the Blue Jays so far. And it all comes down to your discipline and your vision, and they've just been very disciplined this season.
Big swing from the near side is out. That's Marianne O'Toole, the sophomore outside from Louisville, Kentucky.
To go back to what we were speaking about in regards to blocking, even on that last play, the blockers got set and they were able to channel what we call channeling your defenders behind them. So if you have two blockers closed up, it channels the defense and it allows them to trust, you know, that they can know if that ball's in or out based off of where they were set up.
Near side swing for Nora Painter, and then Creighton through Zimmerman, unable to get one to stay down. Just hit that. Looked like she was a little bit underneath it.
She might have been trying to go for a high hand. Sometimes you're going to catch that where, you know, you might catch your blockers high and not low and over, and you're going to get a touch, and that's something that she does so well.
Junior Nora Painter to serve. Set to the near side. Good swing from Welty, but at a better dig. And the hands able to set things up for Creighton. Out of the middle. That's Reinhardt, but too deep.
Yeah, Creighton's doing a really good job of attacking the perimeter. It's almost as if they pause every time that ball gets sent over because they think it's in, because it is. It's just missing, just wide. The margin of error is so small, but they're really attacking the perimeter today.
A little miscommunication on the back row between Bolton and Davis. That'll be an ace for Nora Painter. And Painter came into this match with 0 aces on the season, so the first one for her ties this match at 7. And promptly follows it up with a service error.
Yeah, high risk, high reward. You're coming in there to serve, and she did her job coming in there and getting that 1 ace, and you know, that's tough to follow that up. Like you mentioned, you said you got your ace, and then
yeah.
And then we go right to the belly of the net, but at least she came in there and was able to produce 1 point for her team.
Zimmerman to serve at 8-7 Creighton. Set her dump again, this time Creighton wise to it. Near side, good swing, and the overpass put down by Davis, but Xavier keeps it alive. Here's Franksman down the line, it's out. Creighton 9, Xavier 7.
If I was Xavier, I probably would challenge that. That's definitely in. That was a good shot.
No challenge forthcoming. It'll stay Creighton point. Set up, good set, and a good finish by Delaney Hogan, the player we highlighted in the open.
Yeah, it was a really good set by O'Reilly, really good pace. And the thing that I like watching about Hogan is she's so wiry. She's just so quick, she's so explosive. So it's gonna be fun to watch her here tonight.
Overpass by Davis, over and out. And we're back to level at 9. Had a feeling that this might be a fairly tight match, just with the way these two teams have played. A strength on offense for Xavier and a strength on defense for Creighton. There's a good swing from Welty off the near side.
I love that Creighton does that with Welty. They, she's the right side for the Blue Jays, but out of serve receive, they will run her as a middle, so she'll be able to run off of that 1 foot. And it almost ends up in, if not a kill, it putting them out of system. So I really like that option there out of serve receive for the Blue Jays.
Reinhardt serve. Franksman on the near side. Zimmerman gets it up out of the back row. Welty again. And it's touched by Xavier out of bounds. Point to the Blue Jays. They lead it by 2, 11-9 here in this first set.
Annika is just so long. She has such a high contact point, and she's so long, and she does a good job of seeing the seam and tooling the outside hand as well.
O'Reilly to the near side for Franksman. She cuts across one and gets the point for Xavier.
Really smart by Franksman. I saw in warm-ups, Xavier was doing a lot where they'd run that front slide with their middle, and so Hickman was making sure that she was holding that middle and making sure she was defending her. And so Franksman did a really good job to see that she had the one-on-one opportunity to go cross-court in that seam.
Set to Welty. Big block on the near side by Franksman, teaming up with Chafee. And it's the Xavier defense getting involved in the action. They come back from that 2-point deficit. We're all level once again.
Learning from your mistakes is something that both teams are going to need to be able to do if they want to be able to pull away a run here or there. And that's what Franksman's doing. She's learning from each point. She got tooled earlier by Welty, and then in the next matchup, she did a really good job of getting low and over. So tonight, it's going to be who is making adjustments, who is learning from each point.
Shot from Hopkins was wide. So it comes back, and we're completely around the rotation now with Pua'a back at the serving line. 12-11 Creighton. Franksman, big swing, got that one down along the end line. And neither team just able to separate by very much. We're back to level at 12s.
I think a key for Creighton to separate is they've got to get their middles involved. And I think the one thing with Mahina is she does push pace. And so I'll be curious to see if she, in this series of 3 rotations, if she tries to push the pace with her middles.
Davis, far side, blocked. Creighton will reset. Davis again. This one's blocked, but it's out of bounds. And it's a point to the Blue Jays.
That's got to feel good for Keeley just to be able to get her first kill of the night. Caught her blockers on her way down, being out last match against K-State and then coming in here tonight. They're going to need her to shake off a little bit of that rust to get going so that she can produce for her team. Back
set. Hopkins couldn't get it down, and then out of the middle, Hickman with a huge swing. And no control on the back end for Xavier. Creighton back up by 2. This is kind of the upper limit of where either team's been, leading by 2.
Yeah, and that's exactly what what I had expected for Mahina to come in and run the middles. And I think if Creighton does start running their middles, either team actually starts running their middles, I think that will be what separates you.
Well, Xavier must have heard you. They go right to Chafee out of the middle, and she puts one away.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about serve and pass a lot, and if you're able to serve and pass well, and both teams are doing a pretty fairly good job on that, but you have 2 setters in Mahina and O'Reilly that do a good job of running tempo.
Great setter dump by Mahina right into the donut, and now at 15-13, Blue Jays regain the 2-point lead. Timeout on the court. Creighton trying to separate the middle part of this first set. See how it finishes up. Here from Sokol Arena after these messages. Creighton and Xavier, Big East Volleyball final weekend. Blue Jays will be back in action tomorrow night at 6 p.m. as well to finish out the regular season. And again, the scenario, Blue Jays need one win to make it to the 4-team Big East tournament. Xavier needs to win both. Here's Ellie Bolton to restart things. 15-13 Creighton, and the Blue Jay defense out of the timeout comes up with a big one.
Yeah, that was a really good job by Kiana to be low and over. They were trying to see if they could catch her on her way down and go for a tool, and she did a really good job of holding her press there.
Bolton to serve. There's 2 aces on the season for the freshman. There's an overpass, and kept alive with the foot by Franksman. How about that? Bua'a to the near side, and there's the Xavier block. Jana Schmidt had it rejected.
Yeah, that was a really good start to the rally by Ellie. That was a really solid serve, a flat and clean serve that created an overpass, and a little bit of a soccer move, kept it alive. But we're seeing both teams serving really aggressive tonight.
And there's an aggressive serve that's a little bit too aggressive. Gives the point to Creighton. Now the 3-point lead for Creighton. If I'm not mistaken, this is the largest lead for either team in this first set.
You're right. The margin of error is super small at this level, so anytime you can pull away, even if it is the 2 to 3 points, finding a way to keep that lead, if not, try to sustain that.
Van Ekeren comes in to serve. O'Reilly out of the middle. Little slide move to Hogan. Creighton wise to it and just played across by Davis. Set her dump again. Blue Jays not falling for it. And then a big swing off the hand of Painter. And finally finish with a point to Xavier.
What doesn't end in a kill at least produces the other team to be out of system. And so if I'm Xavier, I'm saying, okay, what is it that we're doing offensively that maybe might not be scoring, but at least putting pressure on Creighton to put them out of system. And that's when they're giving Hogan the ball, she's putting them out of system. So I would make them stop her if I was Xavier.
Creighton able to save it off the serve, and then an unforced error by Xavier. Looked like they were going to get an ace, but the Blue Jays come up with a scrambling point right there.
Relentless defensive effort. That's something that Creighton's always known for, making sure no balls are going to drop, going after every single one. And so that really gives you some momentum going into the later sets.
At 18-15, timeout called. We'll keep it here. And so far, it hasn't looked like there's a lot of separation between these two teams. It looks like each has kind of had their moment in the sun, and the Blue Jay defense just creating that point to keep a 3-point advantage.
Being intentional with what you're trying to do, whether it be as a setter or a middle blocker or an outside, that is something that each team has come here tonight with a game plan. They've scouted each other. They knew what they were coming into this weekend. They knew what they had in their opponent. And so just making sure that you're keeping that in the front of your brain to stay intentional with what you're trying to attack. And it seems as if both teams are just kind of playing to play right now. So even though it is still early on in this match, the leaders of each team, whether it's, your setters or those key components of your offensive weapons, bringing in the team and saying, we've got to be intentional. What is it that we're trying to attack here so we can start pulling away?
Right. Saw Christy Pfaffenberger talking to her team, 6th season at the helm. She did tie for 2nd in the Big East as the head coach in 2015 and 2016, but Xavier's finished 6th in the Big East. In each of the last 3 seasons, finished 8-10 in league play. In all 3 of those years, they're trying to get themselves into the top 4 and into the conference tournament. They're going to need to pick it up a little bit. And there's a point to Creighton.
You talked about defensively, that matchup, the defense versus the offense. And the blockers for Creighton are doing a really good job of getting block touches and doing a really good job of putting the pressure on Xavier's offense.
19-15, Creighton starting to pull away just a bit. And there's an ace from Jayla Zimmerman. And Zimmerman makes it 10 on the season.
Key time. That's a really big time ace. I mean, to pull away the 2015, that's a really big time point for Jayla.
Xavier needs a point. To the near side, Franksman pushed it too long.
Smart idea by Franksman to see that zone 1 corner. It's hard to defend when you're that middle back if it's able to sneak right over the block or around the block. So if it would have just been a little bit shorter, that would have been a really smart play for her.
5 straight points for the Blue Jays. Overpass, Davis punishes it.
It's 3 back-to-back-to-back ball handling errors on the serve receive side for Xavier. So, you know, if you're not passing well, that is going to result in a lot of scramble plays where you're not able to offensively have any sort of rhythm.
And another timeout on the floor as Christy Peffenberger doesn't want to let this one slip away just yet. Creighton from 17-15 to 22-15, trying to put the finishing touches here on set number 1 this Saturday evening match. We're going to step aside, bring you the rest of set 1 after this. Set number 1. Jayla Zimmerman trying to serve it out. Give the Blue Jays a 1-set lead here to start the match. We talked about Delaney Hogan off the open. She has hardly been involved in the Xavier offense so far. Franksman off the outside, gets it off hands. And Davis from her knees able to put it back over. To the near side, Franksman able to get the point, break up the Blue Jay rally.
Yeah, they were able to keep that rally going, but you know, it's hard to get any of their hitters in a rhythm when they're not able to pass the ball. But she did a good job of seeing that seam was there, having the one-on-one opportunity, and was able to result in a kill for her team.
Overback serve. Now Davis, big kill along the back line. And seems like the Blue Jay offense is starting to find some rhythm now.
Yeah, they are. You can hear it. You can definitely hear it. You can feel it. You can see the tempo that they're trying to play with, and you can see their outsides are really starting to get back into what they're normally able to do for the Blue Jays.
McKenna Krause going to sub in to serve for Kiara Reinhardt. Krause, the sophomore out of Greenville, Wisconsin. Gets a good serve right there. Franksman plays it right into the block. Hickman, Welty with the rejection.
And a really good job for McKenna to come in there and do her job, not only do her job, but putting them out of system and really leading those blockers into a nice setup.
Set point for Creighton. O'Reilly to Franksman near side, and Franksman says not just yet.
Yeah, she's doing a really good job for Xavier. She is, you know, leading the team in kills right now with 5. So, you know, really everybody else has only 1 apiece. So she's really stepping up to the plate tonight, and they're going to need to feed off of her energy if they're going to want to keep putting some pressure on the Blue Jays.
Xavier's hitting percentage in this first set, 0. Blue Jays can finish it right here. Zimmerman out of the back row. Dug up by O'Reilly. One more chance to finish the set. Good little dink shot from Davis, and that does it. 25-17, Blue Jays take the opening frame. Creighton takes set number 1 against the Musketeers of Xavier. Thank you for joining us here for Big East Volleyball, final weekend of the regular season. John Schreiner, Shannon Smolinski. Shannon, off the top, we talked about Delaney Hogan being involved for Xavier. She only had 4 total attempts in that first set. Is it something Creighton's doing to keep her off balance, or is it incumbent on Xavier to just get her the ball?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I think Creighton is doing a really good job of serving aggressively, which, in result is not allowing Xavier to stand out and pass super well. They did a really good job early on, but I think as Creighton got comfortable and settled in, they did a really good job of attacking Xavier's serve receive. And so, yeah, they're just really not able to get their middles the ball. And so, for a middle to be leading your team in kills, it's usually meaning that you're passing well as making the risk by your setter to find her, and they just haven't been able to do that today.
Marianne O'Toole starts things off on the service line for Xavier, and Keely Davis starts off with a big swing that's too long. And Xavier will get the first point here in set number 2. And we talked about it a little bit. It felt like Creighton's offense was starting to get going there at the end of set number 1. We'll see if they can carry that over here in the second. Davis just touches it across and then passed across by Xavier to the near side. Big swing. Did it get touched? No touch at the net for Kiana Schmidt. Another point to Xavier.
Yeah, it looks as if there is a little bit of questioning, as if the line judge, who did see a touch and then was overruled by the R1. So we'll see a challenge here by Coach Booth.
So we're going to check the video for a touch. Certainly, when it came across, it looked like it kind of came out funny, but you're never sure.
You are. It's really hard to see. It's just so close, and sometimes when you hit the ball, you're going to hit the ball with some spin. But from where I'm sitting, it's hard to see it, but I felt I heard it. So we'll see. And usually, those that are covering your hitter, they're not watching the hitter hit. They're actually watching the blocker's hands. So you'll see, on either side, if they think that there's a touch, you'll see all the players that are behind her covering will show if it's a touch or no touch, because they're all looking at the blocker's hands. So what you guys are seeing is the same thing that we're seeing, as well as the officials. So we'll see, and they have to have conclusive evidence.
It is.
Yeah.
The finger bent back. You can see it right there.
Yep.
That's going to be a touch, and that's going to be a point to Creighton.
Yep. That indeed. So, yeah, you're looking for any movement, spin, or you're looking for any fingers to bend or move, and it looks like you have that there. And again, you can see all of the defenders behind her looking at the blocker's hands, because if she was to get blocked, they want to be able to see the blocker's hands to defend it.
I'll give the kill to Kiana Schmidt, give the point to Creighton.
And give the credit to the line judge.
How about that?
Who's actually one of our premier coaches, Amber Nicholson, who called that right away.
So instead of a 2-0 Xavier lead to start things off, it's 1-1, and Keely Davis will step to the serving line. She does have 9 aces and only 10 errors on the season. Davis with a good serve there. To the near side, Franksman. They've been going to Franksman a lot on this near side. And that one's called a touch.
Yeah, she has done a really, really, really good job for Xavier. She has 6 kills, while her counterparts each have 1. So she has done a really good job of finding the court today.
Overbeck will serve it for Xavier. Pua'a outside for Zimmerman, and that's too long. No touch there. And Xavier with a 3-1 lead. We talked about Kelly Franksman out of Covington, Kentucky, Scott High School. She had more than 2,000 kills as a high school player. That is a ton.
That is a ton.
And there's an ace by Overbeck.
That is such a hard ball to pass. Typically the balls that are served here today by these athletes will usually drive at their shoulders, but sometimes you're going to have that ball that just drops, and that's a tough ball to read as well as a tough ball to defend.
Near side set for Schmidt. Xavier able to deal with it. Zimmerman, good shot from Jayla right down the pipe.
Jayla is definitely a force to be reckoned with when it comes to, if you're going against her, she just has really good vision of knowing when she has 2 blockers and I have to use a shot, or when you're giving me a seam and I'm going to go for it.
Ellie Bolton to serve. That one touched the tape. It's got across. And then a good back set to Ellie Chafee, who buried it.
Yeah, the junior from Kansas City, she does a really good job for Xavier. Both middles do a great job, like we mentioned. So if you're Xavier, you have to keep holding yourself accountable to have a really quality first touch, as well as being able to trust yourself to push tempo.
Set to the middle for Creighton, but it was dug out by O'Reilly. Franksman with the dink shot and makes it work.
Very similar to Zimmerman. She does a really good job of putting in the donut, finding the seam, finding the tool. But she's not going to be the only one that is going to be able to do it on her own. So see what other Xavier Musketeers can go ahead and step up to the plate offensively.
Zimmerman to the outside. Dug out. Another dink shot for Xavier. Pua'a there to set it up. Zimmerman, cross-court shot. That's in. What a cut by Zimmerman. Creighton back within 3 at 6-3.
They call that a 4-to-4 shot, and so it's hitting kind of like that zone 4, that cut seam, which is really hard to defend because it's going right through your left front and your left back. And so just for her to get that elbow back and get that thumb down and to swing it with that much power is a really good swing by Jayla.
Out of the middle, Creighton deals with it, tapped across by Reinhardt. Back to Xavier. Franksman with a big swing. Reaction saved by Van Ekeren. And then created some offense off of it. So Van Ekeren keeps the ball alive just barely. And the Blue Jays make Xavier pay.
When you're able to score an out of system, that feels really good if you're a coach. You're in out of system so much in the match. And so, to be able to recognize that they were kind of in like a modified rotation and that deep zone 6 was open, which usually isn't if you're in perimeter, was a smart shot.
Yeah, Franksman does it again. Xavier back in front by 3, 7-4, and Kelly Franksman with her 8th kill, on 16 attacks. She's hitting .312 right now. That's a pretty good percentage for a player who's only hitting .130 on the season. Zimmerman with an angled dink shot that nearly found its way down. Off the near side. Good recovery by Overbeck, and then Davis with a good dig out of the back row. And it's a point to Xavier.
Yeah, the one thing that you want to do, and it's a good idea to mix your shots up if you're Annika Welty, but when you're tipping as a right side right over the blockers, you typically have your libero there, and Overbeck is too good, and she's going to get that, and it's going to turn it into a free ball, and that's exactly what they did, and they ran their middle.
Zimmerman off hands, gets it to go.
Just another quality shot by Jayla. Yeah, I every time I call a match with her, it's just always so interesting if you had a kill shot of where she hit throughout the whole match. She just decorates and lights that whole floor up.
Look like a Christmas tree.
It absolutely does.
A little bit of wildness back and forth. Creighton back into system, and Davis is rejected at the net. Blue Jays can't recover, and it's a point to the Musketeers. And we thought, Xavier might look like, they faded at the end of that first set. They were a candidate to probably fade away here in the second, but they've come out with some mental toughness and really showed it here in set number 2.
They have, and that's what you have to do. I mean, coming in here, you have to try to get both of them. So you have to bring your best tonight if you're Xavier.
Musketeers able to keep it alive, and then Hopkins with an off-speed shot right into the middle of the floor. And Xavier extends the lead to 5 at 10-5. Remember, Creighton has swept Xavier 7 of their last 8 meetings. Now a timeout called on the floor. We will step aside. Xavier trying to level things. They lead at 10-5 here in set number 2. Set number 2 from DJ Soklarina. Creighton took the first, but Xavier putting on valiant effort here in set number 2. They lead at 10-5. And the offense for Xavier is the one that's found its footing here in set number 2. And a deep serve right there by Ellie Chafee. But that was inopportune. They looked to be maybe extending that lead, and the service error brings Creighton back to within 4.
Yeah, you want to settle down if you're Xavier, because you did a really good job of attacking with intent offensively, and so they have to stick to that game plan to do that.
Good jump by Nora Painter off the near side, but Annika Welty was just up to the task. A big block right there.
Very big block. She just did a really good job of finding her hitting arm and then just diving those hands, dropping them, and being low and over.
10-7 Xavier. O'Reilly out of the middle to Hopkins, blocked again, and there's the Creighton defense. One of the best blocking teams in the country, getting it done on back-to-back points.
Yeah, and I think, you know, where they were successful at prior to the timeout is they were being creative. They were going around the block, they were hitting off block, and so both of those sets, not as if they were tight. I think that last one might have been a little bit underset, but just some missed opportunities, in my opinion, where, you know, you have to understand that, you know, if you're out of system, you're going to have 4 hands in front of you. So if you're not being intentional to tool them, you have to find a way to put pressure on that defense, whether it be with an off-speed roll or looking to find a deep corner.
And Kara Reinhardt with her team-leading 12th ace right there brings it back to a 1-point game. Off the near side, Painter just pushes it over. Out of the back row, Zimmerman with a huge swing. It was just a bit long.
Yeah, and that was the right idea, like I was discussing with the, you know, recognizing that you have 2 blockers, and Nora, you know, that was smart for her to try the off speed, especially when she didn't have any the libero in there with Ellie being out, but it was just a little bit too deep, but they got lucky with the missed hit by Jayla.
Painter from the near side, cross-court shot, finds a home in the back corner, and Xavier extends the lead back to 12-9.
And I think that is what Xavier is capable of. They are capable of running a fast offense that is going to catch your blockers maybe a little bit late. Maybe you're going to catch them creating a seam. And so they will be able to get those if they can run that tempo.
Monica Welty answers back.
Yeah, I think Allie's doing a really good job getting that ball out so clean. She stays so neutral within her body. She doesn't really sell if she's going out or if she's going to the middles or if she's going back. And so she's doing a good job of keeping the Xavier blockers honest.
Xavier with a 12-10 lead. And good block again. Hands up there for the Blue Jay defense. Davis. But it's the Xavier block that gets it done. And Delaney Hogan finally gets in on the action.
She does, and she, you know, ran that slide, and she tries to hit that cut shot, you know, and with Creighton being such a good blocking team, the one thing that I notice, especially from my vantage point of where I'm sitting, you know, if you are a setter and you are up against the Blue Jays, you cannot put that ball tight on the net. So if you're trying to make an adjustment for Xavier, that's the one thing that they need to do is keep their pace, but do not trap your hitters.
Kiana Schmidt gets a kill. 2-point game, and Keely Davis will be back to serve. Not a great pass. Xavier able to make something out of it, but Creighton ready. To the middle, kept alive and passed across by Zimmerman. O'Reilly to set it again, near side, Franksman. Popped up by Bolton, but out of bounds. It'll be a Xavier point. Boy, that was just a relentless attack by the Musketeers.
It was. That was a really good job of them just to keep attacking. But in that one rally, Creighton had 3 independent hands defensively. The one-arm digs started with Keely in the corner, and then there was one by Ellie, and then doubled it with Mahina. You know, you train defense. You want to be able to get both arms on the ball, but sometimes defensively, it's okay to train independent hands. Sometimes, like you see right there, you're able just to make a move to keep that ball alive.
Pua'a, near side. Good swing from Schmidt. And Creighton back to a 2-point deficit at 14-12 Xavier.
It's just that, right side running that slide as a middle. I just love that. I love it when teams have just different tools in their handbag where they're not just so one-dimensional. And so I love that they do that.
Great drop on that serve by Ellie Bolton.
She
had
served
that Xavier backline thinking it was going long, and it sunk like a rock.
Yeah, it did. She served really well tonight. So far, she's done a really good job of attacking the ball really low, really right on top of that tape, but it's also sailing deep into that seam as well.
Near side Franksman. That beats Davis on the back line. Lead back to 2 points for Xavier.
Yeah, if you're Xavier, you have to keep the lead. You don't want it to go within 1. They got it to as big as 5, I believe. And, Creighton's doing a good job of trying to creep back in here. But if you're Xavier, you don't want to give up any more than the 2 points.
Pua'a back to Zimmerman. Couldn't get much on it. This is going to give an opportunity for Xavier. Off the block and down. And Xavier stretches it back to a 3-point game. But you got to think right now, Kelly Franksman's been hitting the ball really well. She's already got 10 kills in this match. Maybe Delaney Hogan wasn't the player to watch for Xavier tonight.
Right, yeah, they're not able to get her the ball, as well as I just think that, Franksman she's just stepped up to the task. She's going all out. She's having the performance that you need to have if you're Xavier. We have 2 matches here, and we've got to get both of them. So I think she's doing a great job today.
Blue Jays punish the overpass, get a point. 16-14, Xavier in front. Couple of new players coming on for the Blue Jays. It'll be Van Eckeren in to serve, and Welty will come into the middle. Good serve, kept alive. Xavier's just gonna have to pass it over. High arcing pass. Davis, she nearly overpassed it, but what a set. What a save at the net.
Yeah, you'll see Coach Booth questioning the call. They called it a back row attack. But I don't know necessarily if Xavier even touched the ball. Smart by O'Reilly to take it really, really high. And the reason why they do that is they want to send it high enough to be able to get your defense set up. And then you might catch, a ball handling error. And in that, they did by Keeley. It was just a little bit too tight for them to handle.
And that'll be 4 for Xavier, point to Creighton. 17-15, and again, it's kind of where we were in the first set. Creighton was just hanging around with a 2-point lead and then separated from that 17-15 margin. This could be the key area of this second set right here.
You're right, they did. And where they separated is behind the line. They started attacking aggressive behind that service line, and Xavier's nerves and their ball handling areas on serve receive is kind of what broke down. So if you're one of those 3 players that's back there on serve receive, you have to make sure, especially late in this rally, that you're doing your job.
Chafee to serve for Xavier, and put a little extra sauce on that one.
Yeah, you're not wanting to see that. If you're Xavier, you don't want any unforced errors right now. You don't want to give Creighton any advantage, any confidence that they can come back into this set 2 and take the lead.
Reinhardt to serve for Creighton, trailing by 2. Tight to the net, a good set for Hopkins. Boy, what a recovery by Kerrigan O'Reilly.
Such a hard ball to defend. It's a super tight set. You don't know if she's going to go with her middles, and she didn't broadcast her hands going back. It was kind of a weird ball for her even to handle without having a double contact. So really good job by her to have the composure to let that ball come out clean to then find Hopkins on a quick tempo.
Great out of the back row by Overbeck, and then just pushed across. Bump up for Bolton. Down the line, Xavier not able to keep it alive. It's out. Shannon Smolinski showing the reflexes on this near sideline.
I was ready to make a move.
2-point game once again, 19-17. Pua'a to serve for the Blue Jays. Trying to get themselves 2 sets ahead. They've got to level the score first, and then a deep second ball attack. by O'Reilly, and then Davis earns the point for Creighton.
Yeah, a lot of timely unforced errors by Xavier, whether it be a missed serve or the net violation. So they're going to want to clean that up out of this timeout.
19-18, Xavier in front. And we will take a break. Blue Jays trying to battle back. They trailed by as many as 5. Lead is just 1 here in set number 2. Blue Jays lead at a set to none. We'll finish out the second frame when we come back. Blue Jays lead the Musketeers of Xavier 1 set to none, but Xavier fighting back here in set number 2. Creighton trying to close the gap after Xavier held a 5-point lead early in this second set. Mahina Pua'a can level the score right here. O'Reilly off the set and off the block of Davis. It's out of bounds, and Xavier a little bit more breathing room. Back to a 2-point game.
That's exactly what you want to see if you're Coach Peffenberger out of a timeout. Just a nice controlled pass, something that we can run tempo with and you know, find a easy swing for a first ball kill. That's exactly what you're wanting to see.
Marianne O'Toole now to serve for the Musketeers. Pua'a outside to Davis. Over back out of the back row. And then the second ball attack just a bit wide. It was a deep pass, and O'Reilly had to make a decision. Just couldn't quite pull it off.
And it was there. It was such a smart play. You know, if she went over the block, and that sideline would have been open, as Ellie was pretty tight under the block, as if she was going to tip short. So, right idea. Unfortunately, it just missed short. But you get the point back with the missed serve. Let's see if Xavier can't take a lead here and extend that lead more into 2 points.
Will be Overbeck serving for Xavier. To the middle for Hickman, buried. Naomi Hickman with a heavy-duty swing.
That's back-to-back balls that Xavier's targeted Zimmerman, which is surprising. Jayla does a really good job for Creighton, really clean on that first contact. And you know, and when you have a clean first contact, you're able to be pretty seamless in what you're trying to do at the net.
Bolton off the tape. Franksman blocked. Musketeers keep it alive. Back to Franksman, off fingertips again. Davis saves it. And Zimmerman will just pass across. And off the set, off the block. Point to Xavier. Good swing from Ellie Chafee on the slide.
Yeah, it was a really good swing by her to see that outside hand. Jayla was just a little bit late getting over there. Defending a slide is tough as an outside. Technically, you know, trying to see that hand and go one-on-one, but sometimes you get caught floating with your middle.
Reinhardt out of the middle, says not so fast. 1-point game once again.
Yeah, both teams are feeding their middles right now, as both teams are doing a really good job of being effective with their middles. So once we get down towards the last few points of this set, that first contact is going to be key. So we'll see here what Xavier does with that first contact.
Jada Carlton checking in for Xavier. Takes a spot on that front row. And it's
back row attack.
Tipped across, back row attack. Blue Jays level the score at 22. Drama here in set number 2.
Great serve by Allie, putting pressure on O'Toole, just chasing her deep shoulders because she's set up pretty shallow. See if she can do it again.
Van Ekeren. Bumped up, near side, Franksman. Try to go cross. Zimmerman digs it out. Now gets to attack off the hands and down anyway. At 23-22, Creighton finally in front here in this set. Their first lead of set number 2 comes at 23-22.
You know, when you're a server, you want to have a plus kind of serve. Whether you're going after the passers and it's resulting in an ace, or it is resulting in an out-of-system ball. And both of those contacts by Xavier, the one was an overpass, which led for the back row attack. And that last one put them out of system, so that setter's chasing that ball down, which is forcing them out of system. And then that becomes really easy to defend. And Creighton is just so disciplined on their block, and they're so disciplined with their defense that is going to be really a tall task if you're Xavier to try to defend that. So they're going to need to be a lot cleaner in serve receive if they're going to want to try to tie this thing at 23-all.
I think a smart timeout right there by Christy Pfaffenberger. From a psychological standpoint, you lead an entire set, then you get late into the set and lose the lead at 23-22. That's a breaking point.
Yeah, I don't like to wait till 24. You know, you get this one, we're 23-23, and it's just a game to 2. So I agree with you. I think that's a really smart timeout, calm their nerves, because it's just coming down to that one pass. So, Creighton's doing a really good job of attacking their shoulders. So when you're attacking deep shoulders, it's taking the ball away from the net, which is taking their middles and anything that you can run fast off the table. And so Creighton's doing a good job with that.
Van Akron to serve a second time. Blue Jays leading 23-22. Deep serve. Was it touched? No. Too deep. And Xavier on the service error gets back to level. Boy, the Blue Jays gifted that one.
Yeah, I think it almost nicked the top of her knuckle. But it's just so hard to tell when it's so high. And she reached for it way high above her head.
Franksman will serve, and that's an ace. And Kelly Franksman with a huge ace for Xavier. Boy, just when it looked like this Xavier team was about to fade away and give away set number 2, that key timeout by Coach Pfaffenberger might have saved this set.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about coaches who understand the pulse of their team. And you can tell that she understood that, okay, in this moment, just to have a calming down moment, let's take a deep breath, let's see what we want to try to attack here. And that's exactly what they did. They answered on both of those.
And how many big plays has Kelly Franksman made here in this second set? It seemed like Blue Jays would be drawing close. Franksman with a big kill, and now she comes up with a major service ace to get them to set point.
Yeah, she hasn't been the one that has been maybe the most explosive, dynamic, but when it comes to being smart, that's exactly what she's doing. She is definitely being the leader of her team tonight by putting them in a position to be successful. She's doing a great job behind the service line, and when she's in the front row, she's doing a great job of finding ways to either get her team the kill or put them out of system, which then leads to their team being in system. And so, hats off to her for coming out here today in Omaha and giving it her all.
And here we go. Franksman will serve again. Set point at 24-23 for Xavier. Xavier can't get the point. We'll have extras. Zimmerman with a tough dig to the middle. Reinhardt popped up by Franksman. Hopkins along the near side. It's in the deep corner and down. And what a recovery by Xavier. They lose the lead late in the set at 23-22. Rattle off 3 straight points, and we're all level at a set apiece. Teams will head to the locker room, and we'll come back with set number 3 on the other side of our break. Creighton Volleyball is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together, tastes better. Tied at a set apiece, the Blue Jays and Musketeers after 2. John Schreiner and Shannon Smolinski here with you inside DJ Sokol Arena. Shannon, the first set was a back and forth affair. It was tied 6 times. And the second set was mostly dominated by Xavier. Looked like they were going to give it away late, but able to finish that out with some mental toughness. What have you seen between these two teams so far?
You know, it's interesting. Before the match today, we talked about what kind of matchup we were going to be looking at. And, you know, it was a defensive matchup with Creighton versus the offensive matchup in Xavier. And in the first set, Xavier didn't really bring as much offensive power and weapons that they normally do. And in set 2, that was the difference. You saw a lot more of the Xavier's offensive keys coming into play.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights from that first set again. 1 lead change, but 6 times the score was tied. And then Creighton just able to separate after it got to about 17-15. The Blue Jays ran away with the end of that set and won 25-17. Xavier hit 0 in that first frame.
Yeah, the Creighton Blue Jays did a really good job behind the service line to put them out of system, which, you know, led them up to defend Xavier really well in set 1. And, you know, it all comes down to that first contact, and Xavier had a tough time towards the end of that set handling that first contact on serve receive.
In set number 2, Xavier jumped out to an early 5-point lead, and Creighton just kind of battled slowly back into it before Xavier was finally able to win the final 3 points and take a 25-23 win in set 2, but much better attacking from the Musketeers in set 2.
Much better indeed. Franksman's been, you know, kind of their key component here tonight. She's, you know, been the one that's kind of doing it all for them offensively. But, you know, a lot of the others have really stepped up. Hopkins has done a really good job. Their middles have gotten involved, and I think that parity within their offense, pulling that away, is really what got them that win in set 2.
Now we're just about to start set number 3, and as we mentioned, Creighton has swept Xavier 7 of their last 8 meetings. Not so today. Musketeers able to take set 2, so Creighton will start set number 3 with the ball, and it will be sophomore Allie Van Ekeren out of Naperville, Illinois, to get us going. Wolf pops it up out of the back row, and it looks like there's going to be a net violation called.
Yeah, this set just went a little bit too wide, and Hogan just kind of let that ball trail off her right shoulder just a little bit too much and hit it into the antenna. 1-0
Creighton. Riley to the near side, blocked at the net. And point to Creighton as Nora Painter got stuffed.
Yeah, the Creighton Blue Jays do a really good job of setting up, getting low and over. Really good effort there by Hickman by Kiara to get over there and seal that hole.
And she was late arriving over there, but got her hand up on that cut shot, able to reject it.
And I think that's, you know, what she had saw. You know, Nora saw that there was that seam earlier on, and she tried to go after it, and Kiara did a good job of sealing it, and Nora said, "Give me the ball back. I'm going to see if I can do it again," and she did, and she was able to get out a kill there.
Zimmerman with a cross-court shot, kept alive by Overbeck. Jays with another opportunity. Zimmerman again, great cross-court shot from Jayla Zimmerman, makes it 3-1 Creighton. Much faster start to set number 3 for this Blue Jay offense.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you're going to have your libero playing left back. And Xavier has their libero playing in middle back. And Jayla's done a really good job of seeing that their left back, which is O'Toole, kind of gets sucked in a little bit and really leaves that whole 4-4, that sideline shot, wide open.
Guess who again for Xavier? Kelly Franksman.
She's just been red hot this whole match. Yeah, she's just done a really good job of finding a way to produce kills in any any sort of fashion for her team.
She leads all players for either team with 11. 3-2 Creighton. Overbeck will serve. Wide for Davis, off the hand of Overbeck and out of bounds.
It's a really hard transition if you're Keeley. You know, they served her really deep in zone 5. You know, she kind of moved her feet back, was a little bit deep on that baseline. And so to get in transition and still to be able to put down a clean swing is not easy to do. That was a really good swing there by Davis.
Reinhardt serving for Creighton at 4-2. To the near side, Franksman with a deep pop shot. A little too deep. Blue Jays by 3.
That was a really good idea. It's a really good idea. It's just not, you can't overrun it. If you overrun it, that's when you're going to get caught. It's going to go wide.
Reinhardt, the ace leader for the Blue Jays. Franksman again. Soft shot off the hands. Bumped up, outside Davis. Kept alive. Franksman again off hands. To Davis, and Davis buries one along the back row.
You know, the first couple sets, Franksman's really done a good job of spreading the ball around and producing kills. This set here in set 3 is almost if, you know, Creighton said, we cannot let her have another run of a handful of kills.
I think, yeah. Well, it almost appears as though Creighton was set up to really shut down Delaney Hogan, and she's been shut out for the most part. Hogan with just 2 kills on only 8 attacks. She's the kills leader for this team, but it's been Kelly Franksman filling the void, and perhaps that's an adjustment, as you said.
It's definitely an adjustment, as well as that is a tall task. If you're a middle, you know, if you're expecting to be your team leader in kills night in and night out, that is a pretty tall task. You usually see that from your pin hitters. So, you know, your Franksman, your O'Toole, your painters, you know, they're the ones that they should be producing those kills out of system. But if you're Creighton, you have to be able to adjust and not let them go on a run where they're able to just, you know, have so many different shots available to them. And so here in set 3, I think Creighton has done a really good job of just being stopped and not moving and being disciplined to know that, you know, she's not just going to swing, you know, straight away where she's facing. She's going to find an off-speed roll. So being stopped, seeing her hands, and just being disciplined.
Blue Jays have opened up a 4-point lead here early in set number 2. Reinhardt still on the serving line. Wolf gets it out of the back row, and it's just free balled across. Davis blocked and out of bounds.
At this level, you don't see a whole ton of free balls. So when you get a free ball, it's kind of like you're opening up the lion's den. Really, it is, because you got 3 quality hitters coming at you, and you don't know, you know, who's going to get it because it's in system, and you know, it's really hard as a blocker to defend free balls.
And a great serve. And another ace for Kiera Reinhardt.
She's doing a really good job behind the service line. You know, she takes her time. She glances over at her elbow, and she does a really good job of attacking the ball with pace, as well as her accuracy.
2 aces in the match for Reinhardt. It's another tough serve. It's just pushed across. Davis at the net, keeps it alive. Played across, and the overpass is punished by Carlton.
Yeah, good job by Carlton on out of system, getting hands to slow that ball down out of system by Davis. And then anytime you can get an overpass, it's the same thing as a free ball. And as a middle, especially in this match when you're already not getting the ball as much as you would like to be able to produce for your team, anytime you can get an overpass, you know, that's something you definitely want to take advantage of.
Back set, but it's a little bit wide for Annika Welty, who can't get it to fall in between the lines. Maybe
it was her shoe. A little loose shoe, maybe.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I think so. If I'm her, I'm saying, give me the ball back.
Kerrigan O'Reilly, Westerville, Ohio native. Olentangy Orange High School. That one's a little deep. Yes, Olentangy Orange. They are the Pioneers, and orange is one of their colors. the quality content you only get right here.
Well, that's very, very quality as well as, I mean, that's like a Rolodex. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of quality information.
9-4 the score. Pua'a to serve for Creighton. And Pua'a unable to save it. And it'll be point to Xavier, 9-5. When I saw that Olentangy Orange was the listed high school, I had to look it up. Like, you know, the curiosity was too great. I said, this school has to have orange as one of their colors, or it's a massive failure, and they do.
And when you found that out, it was as if you found a, you know.
It's a gem.
Yeah, I love that.
I've unearthed a gem.
I love that.
Davis with a little floor drying at the behest of the up official. What can't she do?
Right?
9-5. Franksman to serve. Davis. Off-speed shot. Good save for the Musketeers. They just have to play it across. Pua'a to the middle. Hickman. Good save by Overbeck. But Xavier's just going to have to try and free ball this across. Well done by O'Reilly. Pua'a outside. Blocked at the net. Deanna Schmidt gets it rejected, and here come the Musketeers once again. 9-6 the score.
O'Reilly really just loves to send that ball super high, give her teammates plenty of time to set up, and that's exactly what they did. Xavier's did a really good job of reading Mahina's hands to see who she was going to be setting, and then they did a really good job of just being low and over early to get a strong, solid block presence on her.
Franksman again. Ooh, what a tough serve. That ball died as soon as it crossed the net.
Yeah, that was, you know, it's really easy to overlook what a good server can do. But if you have a good server back there that is able to do that, where there's no movement on the ball and the ball just drops, you know, good serving can take down a really strong opponent. It's almost like the three-point line. It's like the equalizer. To have a quality server, it's tough to defend.
Good push over by Overbeck. Hickman to the middle, blocked by Carlton. Now on the near side, another block by the Xavier defense, and they have come to play here in set number 3. 2 blocks in a row by the Musketeers, and Franksman is going to have another chance from the serving line after this timeout. She's got 2 aces and 11 kills in this match. How about it? Musketeers trying to climb back in. 9-8 Creighton here in set number 3. We're all level at a set apiece. Creighton leads 9-8 in set number 3. Sets are level at 1 apiece. Blue Jays had stretched out a lead to 4 or 5 points, but Xavier has battled back. And Kelly Franksman's been getting it done from the serving line. That
was exactly what I was thinking. I mean, she is having a day here, you know, and she's going to have to keep putting up a fight here in Omaha and giving her team confidence. And the one thing that, you know, I noticed in set 2 is, you know, she set 1 was, you had ended it with 4 or 5 kills in set 1 and then, really extended that in set 2. But the thing that I found interesting is you saw her teammates starting to get creative. Mariah Hopkins was being super effective on the right side with her off speed and tools. And so she was leading by example. Franksman was being really creative, and that gave her team to be confident to say, hey, you can do this too. And so she's going to need to keep leading by example here.
Davis just came up with her 10th ace of the season. That one just brushes the tape. Set to the middle. Carlton's blocked. Sent it back. Cross-court shot saved by Bolton. Outside for Zimmerman, and it's rejected. Jada Carlton.
She is doing a really good job here in set 3. She has done a really good job within her pin-to-pin, closing the block. It's about being low and over, and she's done a really good job here in set 3.
Here's Zimmerman. Little dump shot, played on the overpass, and just snuck inside the line. Jayla Zimmerman with a very smart play.
Very smart. If you're not loaded in that, you might send that ball over and it might have a little bit of arc underneath it, and then the other team can turn that into a free ball. But if you're loaded and you see that, then you're able to put that down for a kill. So just good discipline there by Jayla.
Tight to the net, but a good set by O'Reilly. Boy, she has done well with some of those bad passes tonight.
Well, yeah, and, if you're Creighton, that's a little bit of a missed read. She's back row, so she can't take the ball over there. So, if you're Kiara, you should have stayed down on that. But since she jumped with her, then it gave the opportunity for her hitters to have a one-on-one opportunity.
And a fortunate break for Stevie Wolf. And she leads the team in aces and gets another one right there off the tape. And she likes to serve it tight to the tape, as you can see. Pushed over, saved by Davis. And Zimmerman just has to free ball across. Set to the middle. Big swing. That's going to be off Bolton. I think it hit her on the side of the head.
Yeah.
Level at 12.
Yeah, that was tough. It just comes out of the hands of O'Reilly so quickly that, if you get caught moving and you're not stopped to see your hitter's hands, that's tough to defend if you're not able to get a block touch to slow that ball down.
Pua'a for Zimmerman. Good swing from Jayla to break up the Xavier rally.
Yeah, really, I called her a golden retriever early in our opening, and that's exactly, what she is. It's an out-of-system ball. Keeley, kind of mishandled that pass, and, she found a way to produce that as a first ball kill. She just finds a way. If you do not close the block, she's going to find it. If you do not get all the way over, she's going to seal it up. So she's doing a great job.
Serving error by Van Ekeren.
That's something that you want to have here, especially the margin of error, like we talked about, is so small. Unforced errors is in set 3 by both sides. It'll be interesting to see, who's able to control that.
Zimmerman tools the block to put Creighton back in front at 14-13.
Really good pace by Van Ekeren. She's able to catch the blocker still kind of moving. They're not able to get low and over, and she just chases right after those hands.
Center dump. Bolton there. Davis off the hands. It's out, but it was touched. And the Blue Jays in front by 2.
Another good high swing there by Keeley, and really good defense by Creighton to read the setter dump and to turn that into a quick offensive turnaround.
Zimmerman will serve once again. Really good serve there. Put Xavier out of system. Now a chance for the Blue Jays to make it a point. Davis off high hands. Kept alive to the middle. Blocked. Now to Franksman. Did it get a touch? No. Point Blue Jays.
We had highlighted Hogan as being, the key player for Xavier. And, the thing that I think, I may have overlooked is, the quality presence that Creighton Blue Jays has within their middles, you know, the middle-on-middle mismatch that Xavier has, you know, whether Xavier can't get Hogan the ball or whether the Blue Jays just are doing a really good job on their blocking assignments, I think that's something to be said today.
Well, there's one way to do it. Get her out of the middle on the slide move, and Hogan puts down a kill. Drags Xavier back to within 2 points, and Overbeck will serve. Deep serve, Bolton to the middle, Reinhardt. A little too deep. 1 point game once again.
Yeah, and that was a tough read for Ellie. You know, they were telling her out, 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 but she was confident in her read that ball was going to drop in, and you know, it was a great pass. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit overran.
Van Ekeren near side set, off the hands. Good shot from Welty.
She is really effective off of that 1 foot. You know, it's been really hard for Xavier to try to defend that. So if you're Creighton and you can pass that efficiently to be able to have that as one of your options, it's almost been, you know, a guaranteed kill.
Reinhardt, good serve. O'Reilly to the near side. Franksman, boy, she is putting the hammer down tonight.
Yeah, you know, that's a really good swing, but, you know, it was an even better set by O'Reilly. You know, moving backwards as a setter, that is really hard to do, to be able to push that ball all the way out to that pin with pace. Usually you have to have it really high and then maybe it might drop in, but she did a good job of attacking it with pace.
Just as you praise Kerrigan O'Reilly, she sends a serve a bit long.
Jinxed her.
18-16 the score, but I have really been impressed with Kerrigan O'Reilly tonight. You said you love the way she runs the offense, and boy, you were not kidding. She has done a lot with a little so many times.
Yeah, my eyes, you know, typically as a coach, my eyes get drawn to setters, really quality setters that can, you know, be balanced on the floor, balance out your offensive weapons. Right away from warm-ups, you could tell the potential that she has as an individual, and just her composure as a leader being one of the intangible things that you need to have as a quality as a setter. I really commend her and the play that she's had here today so far.
Serve into the net. 3 point for the Blue Jays, 19-17. And talking a little bit more about Kerrigan O'Reilly, she appeared on the Big East Honor Roll last week for the 4th time this season. She had 101 assists in 2 matches last week.
Yeah, she's just super explosive. You know, the timing and the tempo of her jump set, you know, it's just a little quick rhythm off of 2 feet. She just does a really good job of getting that ball out of her hand clean.
That one was pushed a little bit high. So Creighton now with a 3-point lead. Timeout on the floor. It's 20-17. All level, a set apiece. We'll finish this 3rd set when we come back. Creighton leading 20-17 here in set number 3. 1 set apiece for Xavier and Creighton. Reset it for you, Xavier. They need to win both to get themselves into the Big East tournament. Only 2 teams from each of the division qualify this year. Blue Jays just 1 win away from qualification. O'Reilly the set. And a good finish by Hopkins on the far side.
Yeah, she's done a good job tonight. They've done, Kerrigan's done a really good job of spreading the ball around, and Hopkins, as of late in set 2 and set 3, has done a really good job of producing kills for her team, and they're going to need more out of her.
Jada Carlton gets a chance to serve, and Zimmerman's blocked at the net, and again Schmidt blocked. Blue Jays finally able to put it across, and there's the good swing from Painter, but dug out. Zimmerman touches it across, and an overpass. And some crazy back and forth action is finally finished off.
Smart. Any way you can find a kill is exactly what you need to do. She was a little early in her approach, so she kind of knew that if I take a little bit off, I can go ahead and roll it right over the block. It was a smart play by her.
Couple of kills here since the timeout for Hopkins, and then a set to the middle is kept alive. Bolton with a good dig. Outside for Zimmerman, off the fingertips and out of bounds. Just as Xavier was back into it, Blue Jays back in front by 2.
That was a really good run out of the timeout by Xavier. You could tell when they came back on the floor, they had a lot more fight. You could see it in their block setup. You could see it in their defensive effort. It's almost as if their timeout, it was like, hey, this is ours. Let's go after it. Just put up a fight.
Outside Hopkins again, and out of this timeout, Xavier's been running the offense through Mariah Hopkins, and they've had some success.
You just got to go for it, At this time, not only in the season, but at this time in the match, you have to leave it all on the floor, and that's exactly what Hopkins is doing. You can tell she is attacking that ball within her approach, super explosive, and that's what you have to do if you're a hitter right now. You got to go after it.
But Jayla Zimmerman still plays for the blue and white. She gets one down there.
And as a defender, she is so hard to defend. If you give her any part of the court, she will find it. And she had the seam, and Hogan tried to get that hand over. Unfortunately, her getting that hand over resulted in a tool.
Second straight serving error for Allie Van Akron. Did the same thing the last time she was at the serving line. Gives a freebie to Xavier. 1-point game here in set number 3.
And look who comes into the front row for Xavier. And none other than Franksman.
Zimmerman with a huge swing that's rejected. Point to Xavier. We're level at 22.
That was a really good, solid setup. They did a really good job of not being in their swing block. Sometimes you get too long and too fussy with your swing block, but they did a really good job of just trusting their setup and being low and over.
Van Akron to the near side, off hands for Welty. Chance for Xavier to take the lead. That's Kerrigan O'Reilly swinging from the outside. Franksman pushes it across. Big point right here in this third set. Zimmerman with a big swing, too long.
Wow.
And Xavier takes the lead at 23-22. Timeout on the floor. And Kirsten Bernthal Booth wants to talk things over. This is the point in set number 2 where Xavier had been leading most of the set, gave the lead back, timeout by Christy Peffenberger. Then Xavier runs off 3 straight points to get the win. Now Kirsten Bernthal Booth, the same thing happens to her. Blue Jays have been leading most of this third set. They give the lead back at 23-22. Can they do the same thing?
We'll see. It's definitely going to come down to that very first contact. And by that, I mean very first contact on both sides. If you are Xavier, you can't just serve the ball over and in. You have to attack it with pace. You have to put pressure on the Blue Jays. And if you are Creighton out of this timeout, if you are one of those 3 that's back there in serve receive, you have to say, okay, what am I doing with my vision to read it off of her hand, see what side I want to play it on, hold that angle so that we can go ahead and have a fighting chance and have all of our hitters coming at that Xavier defense.
Blue Jays 8-3 overall. They're coming off a loss to Kansas State when Jayla Zimmerman and Keely Davis did not play. They lost 3-1 to the Wildcats. Xavier's coming off a weekend in which they dispatched Butler pretty easily in 2 straight matches. They need both here on this weekend. Showing plenty of heart, plenty of fight. And now a big serve here from Painter. Welty blocked at the net. Set point for the Musketeers. Boy, the right sides for Creighton have been getting blocked all night, Shannon.
Well, they've been really effective running that slide. I give the credit to Franksman on that, just reading that and being low and over.
Set point, Painter to serve. Bolton gets it up. Outside Zimmerman. Good save by Painter. Franksman can finish it. Bolton, good dig. Zimmerman again to keep it alive. Saved out of the back row by Painter. Zimmerman swings into a block, kept alive, but down. And Xavier takes the set. And they take a lead 2-1 after 3. Could this be the end of the 17-game losing streak against the Blue Jays? We got set 4 coming up. Two sets to one, Xavier leads it. Must-win matches this weekend for the Musketeers, and they've come in and shown plenty of heart, plenty of grit, plenty of fight here tonight, Shannon Smolinski.
They have. You definitely could tell that out of their last time out. You could see Xavier had just a little bit more intentional fire. They're both working hard. Both sides are working hard. All these athletes are working hard, but you could tell just a change in their demeanor, that it was kind of a little bit of a wake-up call of we're here and we're tied one set apiece. We need to get a win here. We need to get a win here in Omaha to give us a fighting chance tomorrow. And you could tell their energy changed, their body language changed. And so we'll see here in set 4 if Creighton answers that task now.
You know, I was just going to ask you, what do they need to do, the Blue Jays, here in set number 4? What can they change? What can they do better?
You know, I do think that the setters are doing a really good job for the Blue Jays of spreading that ball around. You know, I think they're spreading the ball around pretty well, pin to pin. I don't think that they've gotten their middles involved a whole ton. And I will say that both middles, the Xavier middles and the Creighton middles, are doing a really good job of defending each other. So it's kind of, you know, they're kind of taking each other out, if you will. So if Creighton can do a better job of their first contact to be able to stay more in system to get their middles involved, I think that that's going to give them a little bit more of a separation.
Yeah, just 5 kills between Hickman and Reinhardt through the 3 sets tonight. Zimmerman starts things off with a good one, and the Blue Jays out to an early 1-0 lead here in set number 4.
You know, as much as you need your middles, that's important. But I mean, really, you know, Jayla just does Jayla things, and she,
right.
You know, she knows when it is time for her to step up for her team, and I won't be surprised here in set 4 if she's the one that is going to do it all for her team.
I love that pivot.
Yeah.
Creighton needs to play the middles a little bit. Nah, Jayla Zimmerman.
Yeah. We're gonna have an alter that real quick, because you can't ever doubt her. She will find a way for her team. You see 3 points right there, a kill and 2 back-to-back aces. You don't want to put her in a corner, because she's going to come out swinging.
Nobody puts Jayla in a corner.
There you go.
All right, 3-0 Creighton. Zimmerman now with 3 aces on the night. O'Reilly to set to the middle. Hogan couldn't do anything with it. Now Welty, good save on that back row, just popped across. Set by Bolton to Welty. She pushes for the corner. Great shot by Annika Welty. We had just talked off air about how the Creighton right side hitters needed to be a little bit better. That was better.
That was better. You know, you're going to get you know, your set opportunities that are going to lend themselves to kills, and then you're going to get set opportunities that might, you know, resort into putting the team out of system. But the right sides need to do a better job of getting the opportunity to just put that ball away, and that's exactly what she did there, as well as having a very solid block setup.
Yeah, Franksman reached way back for that one, but Annika Welty was all over it, and it's a 5-0 run to start set number 4 for the Blue Jays. I think they understand what this one means.
You know, and to answer your question, what is it that Creighton's going to need to do? You know, ultimately, all of these players, you need to do your job. Whether you're a pin and you're, you know, having to set up the block, or you're a defender and you need to be stopped and disciplined at this level, ultimately what you need to do your job. And I think Creighton kind of realized that, and all of these players right now are stepping up in that moment to do their job.
Now Xavier finally gets on the board at 5-1. And Overbeck will come back to serve. Van Ekeren with the second ball attack, kept alive on the pancake. Van Ekeren again. Davis, big booming swing, and it's 6-1 Blue Jays.
And that's the Keeley that we know, that we know and love. You know, when Jayla goes up there and she does her job, you know, and she's also, you know, Jayla's also holding the middles, because she also swings out of the back row. So Keeley recognized that she had that one-on-one opportunity, and, you know, she has such a heavy arm. She's going to put that ball down with force if she has that seam open.
Errant pass for Xavier, but a good back row swing from Nora Painter earns the point.
Yeah, you know, I like that. When you're out of system, if you have, you know, a 6-rotation athlete that's back there, you know, and instead of just sending that ball over, being aggressive with that, I definitely like seeing that here in set 4, especially since you're up by 1 set.
Back set for Welty, gets one off the block of Franksman. 7-2 Creighton.
Well, they must have heard you. They must have heard you, those right sides, saying that we need to step up and we need to be able to produce those kills just like our outsides in our middle. And, you know, sometimes when you have mismatches, you know, today the middles, you know, they are able to kind of line up and know that it's not going to be an easy one and done. And so then that means, okay, right sides, it's going to be your match where we're going to need you, because you're going to have that opportunity of the mismatch. So it's time for you to step up.
And Keely Davis is off to a good start here in set number 4. 8-2 the score. And Davis with 11 kills for the match now. And Jayla Zimmerman, by the way, this is the 11th straight match for her where she's had 10 or more kills. She's on 13 tonight. She's in some rare company when it comes to streaks of matches with 10 or more kills. Jayla Zimmerman now 11 matches to start a season. That is the 4th best all time. If she gets 10 tomorrow, she'd be tied for the 3rd best start to a season with 10 or more kills ever.
Which is impressive because there's been a lot of outstanding players here at Creighton, and yeah, she's in good company.
And overall, she's now at match number 18 straight, going back to last season with 10 or more kills, and that's good enough for 4th all-time. Of course, Leah Retzlaff, 58 straight matches with 10 or more kills from September of 2003 to September of 2005. So long way for Jayla to go to get to 58 straight 10-kill matches, but still, when you're in the top 4 of anything in school history, it's nothing to scoff at.
You know, when you're a player that has so many different tools in your handbag, you know, it's gonna lend itself into you being productive, you know, because it's just really hard to defend. You know, if you just have 1 or 2, you know, things that you do, it's easy to defend. And I think what makes Jayla so great is that she has so many things that she does well. So yeah, so we're at a pause here as there was a challenge.
I think we're checking for a net violation right there, and I think Xavier's going to get this one.
Yeah.
You can see the wrist coming down on the net there. Right there.
Yeah, just her forearm getting caught where you're pressing, but just, you know, pressing just a little bit too much where her arms are getting away from her.
So it's a point to Xavier. Make it 7-3 instead of 8-2. And Franksman will get the chance to serve the Musketeers. She was great at the end of set number 3.
She was. That ball just comes out of her hands. Her hand just so flat and clean. Just very little movement. Ball just drops.
14 kills, 2 aces for her on the night. Make it 3 aces as Kelly Franksman continues to be a thorn in the side of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, you know, you can adjust your serve receive. You can move up for those that, you know, the ball drops. But, you know, she can contact that ball just, you know, about an inch higher, and then that ball will go right at your shoulders. So just being able to have that variation of her contact point.
That one a little bit wide.
Almost got iced on the sub, on their own sub. Their own sub might have iced her.
Give one back. Make it 8-4. It'll be Davis to serve. That one a little too tight to the tape. She had an ace the last time she stepped to the line. He was just thinking about getting the second.
You know, in the last set, there was a lot of unforced errors for Xavier, and they were able to make up for it at the end. You know, so neither team wants to see those unforced errors with those missed serves. Definitely going to want to clean that up here.
Painter near side, bang.
She's been really successful tonight, hitting that seam shot, just being able to sneak right through that block. And, you know, it's a really good set choice by Kerrigan because she realized that Hickman had to stay with Hogan, and that opens up that seam.
And Naomi Hickman with a big hammer from the middle.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, you missed your blocking assignment because you're trying to, you know, go one-on-one and commit to your middle, and then saying, okay, you know what, give me the ball. I'm gonna go ahead and give that point back to us.
9-6, Bolton to serve. Painter blocked, and it's out of bounds.
The one thing that Painter does that's a little bit different than Franksman is she will go at it with a heavy arm. She doesn't do a whole ton of off speed. You know, she'll just swing hard at the seam, or she'll swing hard at that block. So it's interesting how the two of them are finding a way to get kills is, you know, complete opposite.
Middle for Reinhardt, too long. 9-8 the score.
I like that Mahina is trying to find them because it's there, but it's almost as if Kiara is just overrunning it just a little bit. And as a middle, if you're overrunning that ball and you're not open to your setter, that ball's going to sail wide.
It was a good shot from Schmidt. And as you said, the right sides have awakened for Creighton here in set number 4.
They have. And the right sides are hard to defend. They really are. You know, especially in a 5-1, you know, maybe at practices you're not seeing, you know, right sides a whole ton. You're not defending it. And Creighton has, you know, 2 quality right sides that are producing, you know, some really great big-time points for them here in set 4.
Zimmerman. Played down line, kept alive by Wolf. Big swing across the body from Painter. And what's the call here?
You know, they called Welty in the net, and I think it was because, you know, I don't know if it was intentional by Kerrigan, but she set that that ball out to her pin in a little bit, and so Welty saw that it was dying in, but wasn't necessarily ready for it, so kind of got caught chasing and got her hands at the top of the tape.
Back set, cross body swing for Welty. She gets the point.
You know, to go back to that last play, if you're Xavier, you know, it would be smart if they moved their pin in and out a little bit just to keep that right side, you know, honest and putting some pressure on them that it's not always going to be out to the pin, you know, just to try to play with that seam if they can get it.
Second ball attack rejected by Davis. Now just pushed across, but it'll be a point for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it was a hard play to react to if you're over Beck. You know, she's trying to read the ball going into the net and waiting for it to fall out. Sometimes if you wait too long, it's hard to get a play. So she just caught the bottom of the tape there.
Franksman, big swing. Got it to go.
You know, that high line swing, it's a cross body swing, so her body is facing as if she's going to swing cross court. But what she does is she just takes her hand and she swings with that thumb up across her body to hit that line shot. And so for blockers, that's hard to defend because you think she's going to swing cross court and she's able to sneak around your outside hand.
And Creighton answers with Annika Welty.
You know, I'd be interested to see, you know, in this set alone, almost the majority, if not 75% plus of their kills have been from the right side.
Straight to the middle. Creighton able to keep it up. Pushed across, too deep from Van Eckeren. And 13-11 the score now.
Unforced errors, whether it's serving errors, out of system errors. Want to clean those up.
Sophomore Kerrigan O'Reilly to serve. Davis, bang.
Yeah, that ball was set a little bit in. You know, Hopkins has to read that. As soon as she sees that ball right there is dropping in just a little bit, she can't get caught going and floating out. So when you as a blocker aren't set up and solid and you float, it actually creates a lot of holes and seams behind you in your defense.
Back set for Hopkins. Kept alive out of the back row. And then played too long by Schmidt.
Good discipline by Xavier to know that they didn't have a block touch on that and to let that go wide. You know, sometimes things happen so fast at the net and it's so hard to see. So that was good discipline for them to see how high that was above their hands.
Franksman to serve at 14-12. Creighton in front by 2. Trailing 2-1. Pua'a to the middle. Hickman. Boy, when she gets a hold of it, it goes.
Yeah, really good set by Mahina. Just a quick little one-footed connection between her and Hickman. It's fun to watch those two.
Mid-set break, 15-12. Creighton trying to get back to level on the overall scoreboard. They trail 2-1. Be back. 15-12 the score here in set number 4. Xavier leads 2 sets to 1 after they made a comeback late in set number 3. Now Creighton trying to avoid the fate that befell them in that third set where they led most of the way and gave up some points late.
We talked about Xavier coming out of the timeout halfway through set 3 with a lot of fight and intentional intensity, if you will. And we'll see if Creighton has that same fight here so they can pull away and bring the momentum into set 5.
Cross-court shot too long for Mariah Hopkins, and Creighton will extend the lead back to 4 at 16-12.
He's doing a really good job of putting the pressure on Xavier right now, forcing them out of system and forcing them to try to chase, whether it's a tool or trying to chase a shot. They're putting the pressure on him.
Near side for Painter, got it to go off the hands and out of bounds. And Painter, she can really elevate. That's one thing I've noticed about her. She really seems to float when she gets up there.
Yeah, explosive on her last 2 steps. You know, you want those last 2 steps of your approach to be fast, and she does a really good job of being fast to take her horizontal movement into vertical to just go ahead and chase those hands. And
Chafee just dropped one right along the back line for an ace.
Just hit a wall, didn't it?
The outside, Zimmerman. Jayla says, enough of this. Yeah, check that ball for Dents.
Yeah, she's done a really good job of just, ending rallies. She's, when she gets the opportunity to swing, it's the ball's not going to stay in play. She's going to end the rally.
Set to the middle. There's Delaney Hogan.
Xavier really likes to run that front slide. They tuck their middle tight to the net in zone 4, and they run the front slide going forward. And typically you see your middles running behind your setters off of 1 foot. But Xavier likes to do a front slide. That's been effective for them today.
Another tough serve from Stevie Wolf, the team leader in aces, and Xavier battling back. They trailed by 4. They're now down just by 1. And that's a timeout for Coach Bernthal Booth.
Yeah, Xavier has done a really good job. Not even just one of their players. Multiple players for Xavier have done a really good job of hitting that ball just flat where it just drops. So, there's something to be said about just having that art of contacting that ball flat and clean where it just, it just floats and then it drops. You don't know if it's going to float and keep coming at your shoulders or if it's going to float and drop. And so what they're doing a really good job of right now is playing with the depth where the balls are going deep, as you saw that one drop in, and then playing with the depth of that drop ball where it's not necessarily a high archy ball, rather it is just that flat ball that just drops. So while it's not Creighton that's passing bad, it's just a really good serve.
Yeah, Xavier has done really well serving the ball tonight. 9 aces for them for the match. And they've really given Creighton a lot of fits and kept them out of system with a lot of those serves, even the ones Creighton has saved.
Yeah, you're right. And that's huge. If you can have a strong serving team, that will put pressure on, any of the top teams here that are standing and trying to make their way into the big tournament. So that's something that you definitely want to take your time, kind of like free throws. Take your time to really hone your craft.
Davis gets a piece of that one, and it's played across and blocked down on the Xavier side by Painter.
Yeah, that's the one thing that really you could do in that is go for a tool. Sometimes you'll see teams where they won't even go up and block that.
Yeah.
Because, really the one thing that you're going to end up doing is probably getting tooled because they're so far off the net, and the timing of it, if you get caught high and it hits your forearms, it's just going to be an easy point.
Kept alive on a tough serve and just pushed across. Van Eckeren to set. Outside, Zimmerman, great shot.
Ends the rally. ends the rally. She just give me the ball and I'm going to end the rally. She has the one blocker, and if she has one blocker, she's going to see she has the one blocker.
Now a timeout coming the other way. So Xavier wanting to talk things over after Creighton is back up 19-16 now.
You're not going to, if you're Xavier, you don't want them to extend the lead any more than 3 because you know that you have them up against the ropes, so if you can put a little pressure on them and you can keep it within 2 to 3, we've seen it all night here tonight. You get into that 22, 23,
sure.
And you give yourself a fighting chance. It's when you have that large margin where, it's going to be hard to come back. So, it's a smart timeout to say, okay, we have to find a way to just hold them right here, stay point for point, and then let's see what happens at the end.
I think even more impressive is what Xavier is doing without their leading attacker in Delaney Hogan. She's got 5 kills on the night, and they're taking a team that's a fringe top 25 team right down to the wire and have beaten them in 2 out of the 3 sets so far. It's really been a great adjustment by Xavier based on what Creighton has tried to take away.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Between Hopkins, between Franksman, and between Painter, the 3 of them being the outside, and right side, they're pin players. They've done a really good job stepping up for Xavier, knowing that their middles can't be the ones producing the kills. They've done a really good job of stepping up to that task tonight.
There's Painter, off high hands, kept alive, and pushed across by Zimmerman. Another chance for Xavier. Back set, Hogan tried to get her involved. Nothing came of it. Zimmerman, good save by Stevie Wolf, and then pushed across. Van Ekeren outside Zimmerman. She goes cross court. It's played across, and it's a point to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, you can't give free balls. That overpass that Xavier gave where they, just kind of set it over. You got to take risks. You're down by 3 points. You're up by 1 set. You have to take risks, and sending that ball over with a free ball and not really making Creighton move much. That's not what Xavier is trying to do if they're attacking to try to pull out this set here.
Great dig by Bolton on the back row. Zimmerman, little off-speed shot, kept alive by Wolf. And now that was O'Reilly who played it across to the middle. Reinhardt, overpass, pushed up in the air. Reinhardt again, quick set. O'Reilly to the near side for Painter. Davis with a big dig on the back line. Outside for Zimmerman. She tools the block, and it's a point for Creighton.
You got to give the credit to Davis there. She got burned a lot by Painter hitting that seam. She went after that high seam and kind of got caught Keeley a couple times in today's match. And Keeley did a really good job of making sure that she was set up on the outside of her blockers and not getting stuck behind her blockers, so that she was able to have that seam covered.
21-16 Creighton, trying to level the match at 2 sets apiece. O'Reilly reverses across. Creighton wise to it. Zimmerman, great cut shot. That is so hard to stop.
Yeah, just smart, just super smart. Really good read by Ellie on the setter dump to go ahead and give that ball quick back to Van Ekeren, and Van Ekeren to shoot that ball out for Jayla to do Jayla things and the rally.
22-16, Creighton trying to polish it off here in set number 4 and get us to a decisive set number 5. We'll see if they can do it right after this. (22-16) Creighton in front. Blue Jays powered by Jayla Zimmerman right now. Got 18 kills on 48 swings, and she's added 3 aces to go along with 8 digs. Jayla Zimmerman having another one of those nights.
Just a balanced performance by her. You know, you have to give her credit for her performance with all aspects of the game, and that just comes from discipline.
Reinhardt with the set. It's blocked. Van Akkeren bumped outside for Zimmerman. Big swing, but came back to Reinhardt. She pushes it to the far corner, and Franksman can't believe it along that far sideline. But what a great play.
Yeah, they've been successful on those overpasses going to the deep corner. Super smart, and I think she thought it might have been out, and it was a pretty tough play. And, you know, I'm surprised that they're not using, you know, any of those challenges. You get 3 of them. If you think it's close, you might as well go and look for it, but I think she painted the line.
Overpass, kept alive by Xavier this time. Outside, here's Painter. Blue Jays can make it set point right here, and they do. Great shot from Annika Welty with some mustard, and it's 24-16.
That was a really, really, really pretty set by Van Akkeren. She did a really good job of just getting that ball out of her hands so quickly and was able to give that ball with pace to lead for that easy kill.
Van Akkeren serves to level the match. Out of the back row. That was Franksman, tight to the net. Van Akkeren outside Zimmerman. Just had to float it across. And then the attempted dunk shot is whistled as illegal contact. It's 25-16. The Blue Jays take set number 4. Shannon, how'd they do it?
They did it by, you know, I think early on 3 points went to their leader. You know, Jayla started the match with the kill. Jayla started the match with 2 aces, and that's their golden retriever. And she came up and in for them in big time moments and really kind of raised the level, if you will, not only of her performance, but I think that also raised the level of the teammates around her. You saw Keeley making plays. You see Van Akkeren doing a really good job of distributing the ball. You saw the right sides doing a really good job of, you know, producing those kills and those block setups. And, you know, when you lead by example and you set the standard, that's what's going to happen. And so, you know, when you start that out by doing that in Jayla, you're going to get a win.
Well, we head to a 5th set on the season. Xavier is 1-3 in 5-set matches. The Blue Jays 3-1.
Yeah, the Blue Jays have gone 5 a lot this season, so this isn't anything that is new to them. They've been in this moment, and so right now in big moments you are going to look for your big time players. So if you're Xavier, you know, what am I doing as a setter in O'Reilly that's going to keep my team balanced and in a position to be successful by keeping my hitters in rhythm. And, you know, Franksman's just been doing a great job. Both her and Painter have been doing a really good job. So, you know, it'll be interesting this set to see, you know, what team leaves it all out on the floor.
You said it. Franksman, 15 kills on 40 swings. Mariah Hopkins has 9 on 19 swings. And Nora Painter has 9 on just 26 swings. So you've hit it right on the head. It's those pin players for the Musketeers who've been really good tonight. And how about this? Musketeers are just 15 points from ending a 17-game losing streak to Creighton. And I know the Blue Jays want to keep that alive and, you know, really go into tomorrow knowing that they are in complete safety.
For sure. I mean, if you're Creighton, you're wanting to walk out of here tonight knowing that you did your job. You know, you're able to play a little bit freer, you know, not as if it's going to be easier by any means, but, you know, walking out of here with a win tonight for both teams is huge. As much as, you know, all the pressure you might think is on Xavier because they have to win both. If you're Creighton, you don't want to leave that to chance. You want to be able to do your job tonight and get that win. So, you know, like you mentioned, you're 15 points away. If you are the servers for Xavier, you have to keep doing what you're doing. Just put the pressure on them by being aggressive with those serves. And if you're Creighton, you have to be able to be calm and be able to be solid in your first contact.
I mean, the coaches in the game say it all the time. It's the serve and pass game, right?
It is.
This is the key here in the 5th set. Creighton has struggled with the passing at times. Xavier has struggled with the passing at times. But both teams have, I think, in general, served it pretty well. We've seen a total of 16 aces between the two tonight. So we're in for a real treat, I believe, here in set number 5.
I think you're right. I'm really excited. And to be honest with you, in watching both teams warm up, obviously having the opportunity to watch Creighton a little bit more this season, but watching Xavier warm up and seeing the athletes that they have on the floor and seeing the pace that they want to play with, I knew tonight was going to be a good match. And then you put all that, with the fact that, what's at stake,
right.
You're going to get a good match. So I'm really excited to see what team comes out with some fire, some grit, and just goes after it.
Creighton has to me seemed the more sort of calm team in the building tonight. Xavier's shown some emotion at times. They've been, hopping around, getting each other hyped up. The Blue Jays have just seemed very level throughout this whole thing.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. And the reason why is, their captain, their leader is Jayla, and that's
right.
how she plays. And so her Blue Jays are going to be a mirror image of how their leader is demonstrating that on the floor, and that's exactly what she's doing and they're doing.
Here we go, set number 5, 15 points to determine the winner, and Creighton able to keep it alive. Out of the net, touched across. Back row for Davis, got it.
I think we're going to see a challenge here. You saw Xavier during that first couple plays, kind of get a little antsy, hoping that they would get a 4 call, which means, the hitter goes up and the ball goes back on their side. Well, you think that there's a block touch, but if that hits the tape and it doesn't hit the blocker's hands, then they're throwing up 4, which means that's 4 contacts. And so that is what they're challenging here. I don't know if it was the first play or the second play, but it was very early on in that rally. They did not think that their blockers touched that ball. So we'll see if they can rewind back and get us to show you what they are looking at.
That's the first point here. Let's see what we're looking for.
I believe it was a back set. So they're going to fast forward through this play, and I think it's a little bit of a bang-bang play. I think it's right here that they're, so they're saying right there that there's no touch. And it's really hard to tell. It has to be conclusive.
It's really hard to tell here. We'll slow it down as much as we can.
As a coach, my argument is how does the ball bounce that far back off of the net if there's no touch? But that top of the top of the tape, that top rope is a pretty thick, sturdy rope. So it does have.
It doesn't look from this angle like there is contact by the Xavier player to me.
Right, as well as when you look at where she contacts the ball, a little bit lower on her way down.
Boy, that is tough.
That is tough.
I mean, does it touch the forearm right in there?
I know. It does kind of look like it might have gotten her forearm a little bit.
That is such a tight call.
Yeah.
And it's inconclusive evidence is probably what the ruling would be if I had to guess.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with it because that angle was really tough to see if it got the outside of Painter's left forearm, and she's no touch. Well, she has those arm pads on, so maybe she might not have felt it.
And so Zimmerman will serve with Creighton leading 1-0 here in set number 5. Outside Hopkins, big swing, too wide, and the Blue Jays with the first 2.
Yeah, you're going to want to settle down if you're Xavier. You don't want any unforced errors. That first play was unfortunate play. They thought that they had that call, but you can't let that deter you from what you're trying to accomplish here. So you want to minimize those unforced errors with the nerves.
Good serve by Jayla, set to the outside, and Painter with a good swing gets the first point for Xavier. I wanted to ask you, just how difficult is it to control the adrenaline in these situations? 5th set, must win for a team like Xavier who's never beaten Creighton in their history.
It comes down to having trust in your training, as well as having a plan. You know, Xavier has done a good job of attacking a plan because they have done a good job of putting pressure on Creighton. So they just have to trust in that. They have to keep working together. Communication, knowing that you're not doing it by yourself is key.
Musketeers stick with it. Had 2 straight attacks pushed right back in their faces, but set it to the outside, able to find a point through Nora Painter. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, she's really playing well late in set 4 and early here in set 5. She's done a really good job of hitting that deep seam every time it keeps opening up for her.
And I think we're going to get a double contact against Xavier here. It gives Creighton a 3-2 advantage.
Yeah, a little bit of a ball handling error, and you can see, you know, Coach Peffenberger is a little bit frustrated with it because there's been a couple times throughout this match where she felt that the Blue Jays might have had a little bit of a couple ball handling errors. So a little bit of frustration, but you want to kind of let that go early. You don't want that to, like I had mentioned, you know, deter you from what you're trying to accomplish.
Good dig out of the back row by Zimmerman. Here comes Davis, too long.
Seeing the players for the Blue Jays thinking that it was a touch, no call touch, just a little bit too wide. And we're back and forth here with the Musketeers and the Blue Jays.
3-3. Wolf to serve. Van Ekeren to the outside. Davis off the block and down.
Really good job by Ellie. You know, if you're serving the libero and you're testing the libero, you know, that's your one job. If you're that back row player, you have to be able to control that first contact. So, you know, if you're not targeting the outsides and trying to put pressure on them, if they're pulled back to pass and they're targeting the liberos, you know, being able to handle that and give a perfect pass was really good to see there by Bolton.
And a point to Xavier. Creighton just caught off guard a little bit.
Yeah, the blockers, you know, just weren't ready for that. Weren't ready for that play. Kind of got caught floating, and a lot of seams were opened up. Too many for the Blue Jays.
The serve from Painter to the middle. Hickman, she has been effective when they've gone to her here late in this match.
Her and Mahina have such a good connection. You know, Mahina really finds Naomi in rhythm, just gives her a really good tempo ball, but high enough where she's able to work around her one middle blocker. They connect really well.
O'Reilly, that might be her first bad set of the night.
You know, I don't know if it was a bad set or if Hogan didn't get tripped up a little bit. It was almost as if she kind of stutter stepped, and that's why it looked as if she was super late. So whether it was a connection or whether Hogan got tripped up, yeah, it was a little bit of a miscue.
Off-speed shot from Franksman. Creighton trying to take advantage. Franksman again, got that one through. 6-5, Creighton in front. You talked about the effectiveness of Naomi Hickman. After that last kill, she's now got 6 kills on 10 swings with 0 errors.
That's an efficient night.
Yeah. But Xavier to serve. Zimmerman. Now the Musketeers. Franksman on the near side. Point to Creighton.
Yep, another ball handling error. 2 of them, in fact, in this set. And you look at the score, 7-5. You know, those are things that you don't want to have here late in the match. I'll be curious to see if they try to go out here to Franksman.
Bolton, right in the back middle. Franksman. Zimmerman, and she missed it.
Yeah, almost as if she wanted to try to see if she could sneak that over the blockers. Just kind of got caught on her way down and wasn't able to execute.
Seven 6 the score. To the middle, Reinhardt kept alive. Franksman, deep touch. Davis was there. Near side, that was Schmidt. Now on the block. And off the net and down. Xavier just unable to get it across, and the Blue Jays back in front by 2. 8-6, set 5. We decide it when we come back. Set number 5 here from DJ Sokol Arena. Creighton leads 8-6 in this decisive set. Jayla Zimmerman, 18 kills on the night for the Blue Jays. Kelly Franksman has put home 16 for Xavier. And it will be Van Akron to serve for the Blue Jays. Here we go. Popped up. Here's Franksman. Gets it just in front of Keely Davis, who couldn't react quick enough. And Xavier with a point that I don't think Kirsten Bernthal Booth is going to feel like they should have had.
Well, you know, the thing that I was thinking out of the timeout is if I am Kerrigan O'Reilly, I have to learn from some of those decisions that I had made earlier. I feel that they're trapping. The outsides have been super successful for Xavier, and some of them, and they're really hard plays. But I think if they can get the ball off of the net for their outsides, I think that they're going to score. So it's interesting enough that was an out-of-system ball and it was forced off the net. So I will say that that's where they are their best, is when they're able to get those outsides off the net a little bit.
Teams exchange points. 9-7 the score. Jayla Zimmerman to serve. She's got 3 aces on the night, including back-to-back aces in that 4th set. Good serve there, but dealt with, and then the block comes up with one. Overpass is put down, but kept alive by Franksman. Outside for Hopkins. Van Akron near side set for Welty, and that's kept alive by O'Reilly. And second ball attack works. And Allie Van Akron hasn't gone to it very much tonight, but that one worked out.
Yeah, that was a really smart move. She saw that she caught Alyssa Overbeck still kind of moving back as if she was getting ready to defend one of the hitters coming at her, and just got her caught moving and was able to sneak that in there for an easy kill.
10-7. Painter blocked, but it's out of bounds.
Yeah, and she does. I mean, Nora, she'll go after those hands. She definitely will. It's hard to go after those hands, though, if you're just too tight, because the Blue Jays block is just so big and they're just so physical being over the net. And so that's how they're going to be able, in my opinion, to stay in this match, is aggressive serving and being able to keep your pins in rhythm without trapping them.
Second ace of the night for Ellie Chafee. And now a timeout as Kirsten Bernthal Booth wants to talk things over. And both of these teams have made hay serving the ball tonight, Shannon.
They have. You know, it's just volleyball is such a fun sport because as soon as you think, okay, we're up 10-7, all right, we're cruising, this is great, and then boom, just like that, it is a game of runs. You know, you're hoping if you can get a lead, being 10-7 if you're Creighton, okay, if we can just keep this and maybe just trade the 1 point, you know, we're gonna sneak out of here with a 15-12 win. It's when you allow Xavier to get the ball back and let them have a run of 2 points or more, then that's when we get into the situation. So if you're Creighton, you cannot let them tie this. And if you're Xavier, you're saying if they're letting us get this run, let's keep going for more.
Right on. And Xavier has 4 players tonight with 2 or more aces in the match. Franksman leading the way in that category with 3. But one of those is Ellie Chafee, who's at the line right now, just picked up her 2nd ace. And she's going to get another chance to tie this match at this set at 10, rather. Match has obviously tied it to a piece.
See if she can't drop it or float it right past their shoulders.
Deep middle for Bolton. Now set to the backside and off hands. That's a point for Annika Welty. 11-9. Creighton back to a 2-point lead.
I love that Welty tested the hands there. You know, she's running that slide, but she, you know, if she's off of the net and the blockers are just going straight up, you're going to be able to find a hand and score there. It's when they're low and over that you can't. But she was able to see that they were not and got that tool.
Kept alive. Painter with a good shot. And Kerrigan O'Reilly. What a save to give Painter even a chance to make something happen.
She connects really well with those outsides. I said there was a couple of those early on in set 5 that she trapped, but overall, consistently, Kerrigan O'Reilly has done a wonderful job tonight of connecting with her hitters and keeping them in rhythm. Just a phenomenal job.
Davis with a good swing. And the Blue Jays back in front by 2.
That's a big point right there. You know, if you're Keeley, you know that you have to come up in that big moment, and she just did a really good job of keeping that ball out in front and finding that seam. Really good play.
And now Coach Peffenberger wants a timeout. We're going to stay here. And both of these coaches tonight, Shannon, they have used very timely breaks in the action to talk to their team.
I was thinking the same thing. They both have just a really good pulse on their team. Know when the momentum of the game is kind of shifting. Okay, when do I need to put that on a halt? These coaches today have done a really good job of controlling the match and using those timeouts really timely.
So 12-10 the score. Xavier has just consistently gotten it back to 1 point. Then Creighton will win the next. We've been going up by 1s and 2s. And now I think Xavier feeling like they're really getting up against the need to try and do something spectacular to really win these next 2 points, get the match back to level, and then see what happens after that.
It's nothing unfamiliar, though.
Right.
This has been going on like this throughout the whole night, where we get into the 22, 20, 20, 23, 22. So both of these teams have been in this moment. It's going to be who wants it more.
Mahina Pua'a serves. Does have 7 aces on the season. She's usually reliable with only 4 service errors. Here's the set, near side, Painter, big swing and got it.
Explosive.
No doubt.
Super explosive. I'm surprised Creighton has not moved their block in just a little bit. She has not really hit line much at them at all. So if I'm Creighton's right sides, I would probably adjust my block just a little bit to take away that cross-court ball from her.
Tough dig by Zimmerman. Davis, too long. Wanted a touch, and Kirsten will challenge.
Yeah, like we had mentioned earlier, those touch calls, you're gonna hear it from those 5 players along with the hitter. as they are all on the front line right there where they're looking at those blockers' hands, so they can either hear it or they can see it. So, you have them. You have the challenges. You might as well use them.
Yeah,
So.
why you can't take them with you.
No. So I don't disagree with that. And I always love it when the coaches put their trust and their faith in their team of, hey, you think that's what you saw? All right, let's go for it.
Well, this is a huge call right here. And, boy, that's so far away. I don't know how you could ever tell.
Yeah, with that camera view being on the opposite side and the ball being so far away, it does look as if, by where
maybe there's a blur change there, but this is a monster call. I mean, it's either 12-12 or it's Creighton 13-11.
And again, the ruling has it that it has to be conclusive evidence for it to overturn. And with that view is the same view that the officials are seeing. I'm not sure that there is enough to overturn it. And like you mentioned, this is a big point.
Now, maybe this angle will give us something. I don't see fingers snap back or move. Do you?
No, and it's hard because the ball's behind them.
Right.
So it's hard to see that in that moment.
But it looks like the ball is past the hands. Yeah, it looks right between hands to me.
Yeah, it's a super tough call. With the officials being the line judges, it happens so fast. And then, being the officials that are seeing this on the monitor, it's just really hard to see, especially with the background of the seating and the players.
Yeah, and the call stays point Xavier. So we are level at 12. 3 points to win it. And Nora Painter at the line to serve. Painter has no aces and no errors on the season. She did get one ace tonight, and there's Hickman to the middle. She does it again.
Really smart play, really great pass. Just a really timely play to be able to find your leader, your leader in the middle, Naomi Hickman.
Wow. How efficient has she been? 7 kills on 11 swings with no errors. It's not it's not 20 kills, of course, but when they have needed her to come up with a big point, she's just delivered it almost every time.
The thing with Hickman is, she's getting just the one blocker on her. But she's not just swinging into zone 1. She's not just swinging into zone 5. So as the opposite middle in Xavier, it's hard. Do you take, do you take that swing away? Do you take the left away? So, she's doing a really good job of just being open and keeping that spacing between her and the setter where, she's just able to work around that and hit those seams. So, a big moment, big time play.
Here's the question for Xavier out of this timeout. Where do they try to go on the attack?
They're definitely going to try to find Franksman. So,
She starts on this near pin on the left side of that attack.
So right now you have your setter in the front row. So she could go for a setter dump. So if you're Hickman, do you, if Hogan runs a slide, then Hogan now becomes Jayla's. And now Hickman has to decide, do I stay with the setter or do I go with Franksman? And I would commit to Franksman because I think my defense could handle the setter.
Davis with the serve. Outside to Franksman. Played it off speed. And now Creighton with a big opportunity. Jayla just underneath it. Blue Jays keep it alive. Here we go. Near side. Big swing. Kept alive by Overbeck. And Bolton with a great dig. To the middle, Hickman. Kept up. Bolton with another save. Overpass to the far side, out of bounds. What a rally. Set, match, point for Creighton.
Great defense by both sides. We talked about who wants it more. You have to give it up to both teams' defensive pursuit on that one.
Davis can serve it out for the Blue Jays in a hard-fought 5-setter. Last chance for Xavier. Franksman to the near side, blocked! And the Blue Jay defense comes up huge on the final point. 15-12, Creighton wins it in 5 sets.
What a great match, and what a really good discipline blocking scheme there at the end of that match by just completely moving both of those blockers out to seal that up against Franksman, who was just going after it all night. What a great match here by both teams, and congrats to Creighton Blue Jays, who was able to solidify that win and giving them the opportunity to stay alive for the NCAA tournament.
And heartbreak on the Xavier sideline as they know that they will not be making it to the Big East Volleyball Tournament. They fall to 7-6 and 3-2 in conference play, but boy, what a battle between these two teams tonight. It was a physical battle, it was a mental battle, and at times an emotional battle for these two.
Yeah, hats off to the coaches, to the players tonight. It was a great match. We hope you guys enjoyed it watching at home, because here, courtside, it was electric. Both teams really put up an awesome fight here in Omaha.
Shannon, it was great to call this game with you tonight. Thank you so much for being a great partner.
Absolutely, and same to you.
Well, that does it. Creighton wins it 3-2 in an absolute nail-biter over Xavier. They extend the winning streak over the Musketeers to 18 all-time and make sure that they will appear in the Big East Volleyball Tournament. They got one more to go for the regular season. That's right here tomorrow, 6 p.m. I will be back with you. Shannon, she had some other things to do, so she won't be here.
Sorry, I have to coach.
But I will be back with you tomorrow for Creighton and Xavier, and I can only hope that we get one just as exciting as what we got tonight. Well, for my partner, Shannon Smolinski, I am John Schreiner. That's going to do it for us tonight. Creighton wins in 5 sets over the Musketeers.